Hey cycling fans, welcome to another week of This Week in American Cycling. That's Dave Towle, I'm Brad Sohner, and we are just back from Knoxville, Tennessee, where we had a big week of road racing in the United States. We're going to talk about the Pro Road Championships. We'll go back and talk about Amateur Road Championships as well. We also had our Para-National Championships last weekend, and we're going to talk about some track racing at the TTown Velodrome coming up on This Week in American Cycling.
Two of the most exciting national road championships we've seen in a long time. Let's start with the women. It was Trek Segafredo, a great job being done by this two-rider team as Taylor Wiles does the setup work and launches her teammate into orbit. Such an impressive ride by Ruth Winder. She ends up taking the win in the national championship, Rivera for second, and Emma White close for third.
An emotional win for Alex Howes in the men's race after being on this podium 4 times. He finally got it right in Knoxville. Howes found himself in a group with 2 very powerful riders, the World Tour rider Neilson Powless, and then how about Stephen Bassett from the First Internet Bank Cycling Team. Bassett was amazing in his hometown of Knoxville, really putting on a show, getting into that break, driving it, and just refusing to give up. There was a small group behind them trying to chase. They were unable to get it together, and those 3 guys went to the line. It came down to the final climb up to the finish. Bassett jumped first, but Alex Howes got him just heading into the last turn. Howes has a little gap into the finish line, and then he holds on for a big national championship win.
Friday night, downtown Knoxville, it was quite a show being put on by the pro women, and Emma White delivered the goods as our youngest ever women's national Criterium champion. She went to the line with Lily Williams, who ends up with the silver, and Kendall Ryan, who's been a national champion in the past, ends up with the bronze medal here in Knoxville.
Leanne Ganser, the defending champ, gets caught in a crash at 5 laps to go. No more free laps there, so she has to go into the pit, and that's the end of her race. Heartbreak for the defending champion, but Emma White takes advantage and gets a Stars and Stripes jersey.
Next up, it was the pro men, and there were no surprises there. 2017 champion delivers again in 19 as Travis McCabe for Floyd's ParaCycling beats Eric Young in a really close 3-rider sprint with Miguel Bryan rounding out that podium. That hill was decisive. It made the course just perfect for McCabe, and he'll wear the Stars and Stripes jersey again for all of the 2020 season.
Time trial day started the weekend on Thursday for pro women and pro men. Saw a great ride from Ian Garrison. Few riders choosing to stay in Europe for their campaign, so Garrison climbs to the top step of the podium, also picks up a U23 championship against Neilson Powless.
Yeah, a young man from Atlanta was super strong. He beats Neilson Powless by 19 seconds there. It was really a strong ride from George Simpson as well. See, you know, that opened the door for some breakthrough performances, and Simpson was one of them.
Time trial championship number 4 for Amber Neben as she picks another one, coming out ahead of Chloe Dygert-Owen and Leah Thomas. Of course, it's maybe a little too long for Chloe Dygert-Owen, so this was perfect for Neben, and she capitalizes with a 4th time trial national championship. Knoxville also hosting the ParaCycle Time Trial, Road, and Relay National Championships this weekend.
2 notable performances here were Ryan Pinney and Will Grew. They win both the road race and the time trial in their respective categories. Then they team up in the unique relay race with Alfredo de los Santos to take their 3rd title of the weekend.
Lots of very strong names in that field this weekend. We have a really strong U.S. Paralympic team, including 2-time Paralympic champ Sean Morelli. She won again, looking to make it 3 this year, along with Oksana Masters, who already has 3 Paralympic medals. She wants to add one in cycling. She's won a Paralympic medal in rowing, cross-country skiing, and biathlon. Now she's going to try for one in hand cycling.
Amateur road nationals were out in Maryland last week. As we were getting ready in Knoxville, our man Bill Scheiken was there for the coverage.
Thanks, Dave. This is Bill Scheiken in Hagerstown, Maryland, where we are at the 2019 Amateur Road National Championship, where we saw 4 days of racing, starting with the time trial, then 2 days on the road, and finishing with the Criterium.
The National Championship started on Thursday in Boonesboro, Maryland with an out-and-back time trial. We start with the U23 men where Hagens Berman Action's Ian Garrison went off early in the morning and set the fastest time of the day to take the win in 36 minutes and 7 seconds on the 30-kilometer course. Gage Heck earns the silver with Connor Shunk grabbing the bronze. In the women's 17-18 race, Lux Cycling's Zoe Ta Perez was fastest over the 20.6-kilometer course. Megan Jastrab earned silver, and Katie Klaus picks up the bronze. Moving to the men's 17-18 race, and it's Lux Racing's Quinn Simmons winning the gold over Lux teammates Matthew Riccatello and Michael Garrison. And in the men's race, Legion of Los Angeles' Corey Lockwood repeats as national champion, taking a 9-second victory over Brock Mason. Timothy Mitchell finished third. From the time trial, we moved to 2 days of road racing in Clear Springs, Maryland. The amateur men lined up first, and after a long break was caught with 2 laps to go, Ben Schmuddy, Matt McClune, and Ryan Knapp got away. But Schmuddy and Knapp dropped McClune, and soon after were joined by their teammate Stephen Bassett, who bridged from the field to complete the first internet bank sweep. Schmuddy was given the honors to cross first, followed by Knapp in second and Bassett in third. In the men's U23 race, A.E. Volo controlled the race from the whistle, reeling in a long breakaway before putting riders up the road. With 4K to go, Lance Hayden attacked a group of 5 and soloed to the victory, adding the road race to his Cyclocross National Championship. In the women's 17-18 race, the oldest women's field for the championships, Rally UHC's Megan Jastrab controlled the race from the front before unleashing a sprint that shot her to victory over Katie Klaus and Jane Tullis. The men's 17-18 race was dominated by Lux Cycling, who put 4 riders in the break and several more in the chase. Team Swift's Aidan McNeil tried to beat the odds as the only non-Lux rider in the break, but in the end it was a podium sweep for Lux, with Gianni Lamperti rolling across the line first, followed by Seth Callahan, Logan McLean, and Jared Scott. The final day of racing took place in downtown Hagerstown, where a slate of national champions were crowned in the Criterium. Megan Jastrab was marked all day long by a field who did not want to give her any advantage, but tactics couldn't stop Jastrab from taking her second win and third podium of the championships as she outsprinted Ava Sykes and Elizabeth Harden. In the men's 17-18 race, Lux Cycling used their strength in numbers to once again control the race. Hot Tube's Magnus Sheffield and Lux's Quinn Simmons spent a long time together in the chase the day before during the road race, and they rekindled that rivalry in the crit, with Simmons racing tactically and forcing Sheffield to do most of the work. On the last lap, the break was caught, yet Simmons was still able to put together a race-winning effort in the bunch sprint. Luke Lamperti finished second, with Tyler Reynolds earning the bronze. The flow of the men's U23 race was dictated by A.E. Volo, who sent riders off the front early and had numbers in a 5-man break. Gage Heck dialed up one heat check after another, which finally shattered the break and opened the door for teammate Michael Hernandez to sprint for victory. Kyle Swanson took the silver, with Eric Bruner grabbing the bronze. For the men's Criterium, all eyes were on Legion of Los Angeles and defending champ Justin Williams. The team plan was to work for brother Corey Williams, and it was looking good with Legion controlling the group and monitoring the break. But a late race crash took out 3 Legion riders, and that meant that Justin Williams had to attack. He reeled in the break on his own, and then teammate and time trial champ Corey Lockwood made sure nobody else could make a move by setting a blistering pace at the front for the final 5 laps. In the finale, Justin Williams played it perfectly and won the sprint to repeat as national champ. And that's it from Hagerstown, Maryland, and the U.S. Amateur Road National Championships. Back to you in the studio, Dave.
And finally, this week, the TTown Velodrome up in Pennsylvania wrapped up their big block of UCI racing. They're really doing some cool stuff for track racing up there, especially ahead of the 2020 Olympics. Notable rides included James Mellon breaking the track record with a 9.991 sprint, Eric Young and Shane Klein smashing the Madison, and American Mandy Marquardt winning the sprint competition against a strong international field. Racing was so good this past month, the riders started calling it the T-Town World Cup.
A lot of riders were using that for preparation for the national championships happening in Carson, California this week. We're going to have coverage of that on next week's show. So that does it for this week in American Cycling. For Dave Towle, I'm Brad Sohner. Another great week in American Cycling. We'll see you next time.